So this morning, I've been doing a lot more water than definitely more than you.
More water?
Yes, because you put it straight in your mouth.
Oh, you mean to drink?
You do like 12 ounces, you said.
Yeah, I did like 12 one day and 13 another.
I've been rolling like 16 to 18, just because I like a lot of water before my workout.
Yeah.
And it tastes fucking fire, dude. Sipped it the whole ride.
Yeah, I like
here.
it with more water. One thing I've noticed is the days that I really like do a good job of, like, I'll wake up, I'll probably drink like 16 ounces of water, take Dobie out, whatever, have a little bit after brushing teeth. And then once I get here, I usually have pre-workouts, like another 12 ounces. And then I'll sip like an inch or whatever. But from like morning to like during workout, post-workout, it's only like 3.5 hours of my day. If I drink like water in the morning to kind of start my day, I end up peeing like 8 times.
It
within
reduces
like 4 hours.
bloat.
Yeah.
Normalize
bloat.
queen.
Hashtag normalize bloat.
I don't know about y'all. Oh, sorry to cut you
Oh, no,
off.
you're fine.
Chip it in,
I
dude.
was just
Spill the tea.
I just feel like, I end up overhydrating with so many things because I'll have like my pre-workout is like 12 ounces, intro, whether it's Overcome or whatever, it's like another 16 ounces, and then post-workout shake, I'm like almost half gallon in.
Do y'all ever, though, I feel like a lot of times if I would like wake up and drink water and then try to take vitamins or something along with it, I get like nauseous almost.
Oh, yeah. You got to be taking that shit with food, dude.
Yeah. It's even gotten to the
That
point
is my
before-
food.
Yeah. But sometimes I get like super, super hungry in the morning if I don't have anything to eat and just drink.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where like even I would like pull over basically on the side of the road sometimes and just be like, because I like have nothing in my stomach. I don't know what's going on.
I've had that
So I don't
happen
know how
a few
these
times.
monks can like go for long fasts.
40
like that.
days of no food or whatever. Yeah. I get those feelings sometimes. Like I'll wake up like with the gut wrenching hunger.
Yeah, it's if I eat a big dinner beforehand.
Yeah.
The night before. So
It's kind of crazy.
yeah.
Let's crack open these drinks.
Yeah.
I
What's
already
up?
did, but-
This is the All or Nothing Show, by the way. It's your boys,
Oh
Austin,
crap! That's
Griffin,
the show.
Yeah.
Brock.
I'm on the wrong show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switch channels. This might not be for you, but yeah, let's crack into them. This is Mountain Dew Rise Energy. I picked these up for the
Rise.
boys.
Raise, rain, rise.
Yeah, a lot of
Reason I
R's.
picked it up, it was at Walmart,
White grape juice concentrate.
and it's something new. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is.
Ester of rosin, gum arabic. Interesting ingredients.
I wonder what
This
y'all
guy.
say.
I must have. What's that shit? Ace K.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ace
fuck,
K.
not
It's
Ace K.
colored.
Yeah, I'm not liking that already. But anyways,
Oh wait, I've never actually had Mountain Dew before.
Like even the drink?
No.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
yeah,
I definitely had it. I
that
don't
is
have it
that is
often.
kind of weird. Everybody comment below. That is weird.
Yeah, that is.
Shame.
Shame
Yeah.
this fool. But 5 carbs, so it's not completely zero sugar. 25 calories. Let's go.
We've been going. It's
This
it's a fruit juice, basically, is what it tastes like. It tastes like a fruit punch juice.
Fruit punch for sure.
It tastes like if you know those, what are those called? Mix-a-Lot, the drink machines, where it's got all those different
Yeah.
flavors.
Yeah.
Strawberry Sprite.
I don't know if it has. I haven't had the strawberry Sprite, but I feel like it doesn't
know,
have
you
enough
said Sprite.
carbonation of Sprite. Really?
The back end.
Yeah.
The back end's got
end.
Sprite. that old back end.
Yeah, I get it now on the
I
back.
mean, don't just agree.
No, I do.
What's up with the immune support? Oh, vitamin A and C.
Get that zinc.
antioxidants.
Shit, COVID free, baby.
Yeah, no
Let's
vaccine
go.
needed. This is the vaccine.
Yeah. This is
Inject
the
me.
vaccine.
Let's go.
Take that, Fauci.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't any cheaper than other drinks.
I
So
think you went cheap on us.
it was $1.98 a can.
Dang.
Damn.
Which, by the
Yeah.
way, I'll accept that Venmo,
Yeah.
especially from this one.
180
And then-
caffeine.
Yeah, 180
Austin's
caffeine.
going to be asleep by the
I
end.
probably
of
will.
Yeah, this is baseline. If that.
It's actually like my tea, my herbal tea for the day.
it. Yeah. What
But,
do we give it
this is
number-wise?
decaf.
I might give it a 6.3.
5.2.
5.8.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm taking off a little for the color
Me
and
too.
the sugar.
it's colored?
That's exactly it.
That pink.
Because the flavor isn't bad to me. I actually
Yeah.
like the flavor.
It's
Is it
pretty mild.
knockout? No. But the coloring, calories,
Yeah.
sugar,
Gross.
whatever. I feel like they could have made it the same without all that shit. It's because they wanted to add it in all this other stuff.
Yeah.
5% juice.
But I feel like sometimes like supplements and like drinks, they throw in these like immune this or mental that, but it'll be like a one ingredient, or it'll be like a few ingredients, but they're way underdosed. That it's like, why even put it in there?
Well, exactly, especially.
It's
like
put it on the can.
Yeah. It's like Bang, with like super creatine. It like might be like
Yeah.
a gram or two, which isn't like your daily dose. But yeah, it's just to kind of put it on the can, and most people don't understand proper dosage.
For sure, especially with a can.
Yeah.
It'd be different if it was like a supplement, but like you can't fit that shit into a can and then make it cheap too.
Well, it's funny too. I feel like sometimes as a consumer, like what I justify to myself, because especially like when I worked at Willow Lawn in the mornings, I'd be like, let me go get Chick-fil-A, and then like, well, let me make sure I get my micros in with my Bang. I got to get my creatine and like this and
the
that.
aminos. Yeah.
So I feel like people would be like,
The daily
immune
vitamins.
support, mental boost, guzzle it down. It's got juice.
So what's up? What's new with y'all?
Yeah. How was the weekend?
Weekend was pretty good.
Weekend was good.
Doors were open here.
Doors were open. Got very humid.
Rainy.
And rainy, yeah. But overall, it was a good weekend. We got Party in the Gym coming up this Saturday. So if you're local, you'll be around. Come show up at Ironville Gym April 3rd this Saturday from 12 to 4 p.m.
Yep.
Should be a good time. Should be outside. The weather looks nice, luckily. Thank God. So doors should be open. Should be a really good time. Yeah. Cherry Freeze drop. That's new.
Oh yeah,
Friday.
that did. Yeah, this
Came
past Friday.
drop Friday.
If you don't know what we're talking about, Cherry Freeze is our third and latest flavor drop to GYMFLO. Very unique flavor that I feel like we definitely outdid ourselves with this one. The flavor's awesome. I've been loving it more and more each day. And then not only that, but the label, all the new updates with that and stuff. It's just all around a great package.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just went live on the site this past Friday, so go ahead and get you some.
Go on, get you some.
Link in the bio. But
Use code.
yeah, what?
Use code.
Oh, use code.
Freezy Steve.
Freezy
To get
Steve.
buy one, get one free.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, go ahead and try that one, guys.
Yeah, you can try it.
Nothing happens.
Griffin.
Well, thanks anyway.
Yeah, Griffin, he's sending that
Hopefully you complete your cart.
up the chain.
But I think to kick off this episode, if we still have people listening after all this nonsense, is getting into some questions, because I think we each got a good bit of questions we threw up on our story. We all throw up the question box the day before on Sunday, so make sure you check out our pages on Instagram and drop us something. But I'll kick it off here. I like this one from us, our boy Steven. He said, fight to the death in the gym. What are you using / grabbing to win?
I've thought about this before.
Oh, man. This guy's
because
prepping.
I did have a conflict a little bit ago at Laburnum, actually. This guy just came up to me. I was lifting with Tyler
yeah,
Church.
you told me that,
I think
yeah.
I told you guys about
Yeah,
this.
you did.
And we were going to leave, and I was like, that was a solid like shoulder day, man, and went to give him a fist bump. And this guy came up to me, and he was like, what the fuck did you say to me? Like, you punk bitch, and like all this other stuff. And at the time, I was walking towards the door and just like, casually like giving a fist bump. And it's like he was completely behind me. There's no mirror to even like look through, as if like it wasn't like he was thinking I was looking through and making fun of him. And maybe he was just like, I don't know, I don't want to say like roided up, but just like had some sort of hormonal, like, I don't know,
I think he's
issue.
probably mentally challenged out that way.
But
A little PCP or something.
and then I was like, wait, what? Like I didn't understand what was going on. He's like, I don't play with that like muscle shit, boy. Like I'll kick your ass, or like other things like that. And I was like, I wasn't even talking to like about you to you. Like I wasn't even saying anything that could have been misconstrued any type of way. And so I like just started to walk away, and he was like, yeah, like walk or this and that. But he was like 5'8", so it's like I got a few inches on him. And so I was thinking like within arm's reach, I got a 25-pound plate. Grab that, slam it on his toe while he's keeled over, knee to the groin.
Damn.
So I feel like just a simple plate would do a lot of damage and be pretty easy to maneuver, basically.
I think the best route would be a cable attachment, because a barbell or plate's going to be too heavy to maneuver quickly.
You take out the rope.
I was thinking rope or lat pull-down bar.
Oh,
Lat pull-down bar
Get
would be
the
light
reach.
enough you can move it, but it has the reach of like, not like a spear, but a shaft that you could just hit people with quickly. And it's metal too, so I mean that would definitely hurt like a bat would.
Here's the thing about that. I already thought about once you said it. You get one swing with that. You miss, they're coming in.
Yeah.
You swing that thing, you
But that's
miss,
with anything.
they're coming in. Well, yeah, but That's a lot. Like
How do you mess with that
I
thing?
feel like I'd see that coming. Like the
It
wind
does
up,
have
Well,
some weight
look,
to it.
you got to be quick though. It's not like I wouldn't go like baseball.
like a baseball. Okay.
I'd have a grip like a hockey grip almost, and
Check him.
I'd be checking people.
Gotcha.
Pop.
Yeah.
I could hit you in the neck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang.
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about this gym, I already have something in mind that's probably nobody knows about.
What?
I got the Michael Myers knife in here, and that's what I'm using.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know if that counts. That's
Dang.
some bullshit.
Loophole.
Yeah, I'm slicing away.
Yes.
Nice.
Gutting you.
I feel
But-
like though with that Prime thing, you could probably get some like nunchuck.
I thought about
action
that.
going on.
Yeah.
I don't know
They're
what I'd
kind of
use.
heavy though.
I'd probably throw something first, and then after that, I don't think anything else in here. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's light enough and somewhat rigid enough to be a nice weapon. Is the bar jack?
Oh yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
ice cream scoop
Chalk in the
thing.
eye.
Yeah.
Check him.
I could swing that thing.
Pockets.
pretty
I'd
good.
maybe like pocket the 2.5s too, and I could.
That's what I'm saying. Something to throw,
yeah.
and then also come in and attack right after.
Maybe even too the sandbag. I feel like that would be kind of cool. Neck breaker.
No matter what you use though, it's gonna be like a bludgeon kind of death.
Oh yeah.
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 It's got to be force.
It's gonna be
That's
brutal. Yeah.
Dang.
All right.
Or even the carabiner. Nipple clip.
Yeah.
You like that?
Get him hooked.
Yeah.
Hook the
Yeah.
jowl.
Got him.
All right.
That was pretty good.
This would be a good one. I feel like for you and I, Austin, because I was thinking about this when Trey put this in. Was not really fitness related, but what's the hardest part of running a business? And the way I was thinking about it, because like I could be like specific to like the gym or different things, but one thing that kind of stuck out to me, and I feel like you can relate in a way to this, is like having the patience and understanding that it's gonna just be like you and like kind of boring progress for a really long time before you get to do the fun stuff, or you get to do like cool things with your business, or have employees, or do bigger events or cooler products. Is like knowing it's going to take months or years of you kind of just doing this. Kind of like, it took us a while to get to the members we have now at the gym, so it's taken Maddie and I a long time of just from sun up to sundown, just us working here to make this place work before we can start to hire someone and be profitable and this and that. So it's kind of like just knowing you're going to have to head down, not go out on dates, not go out and do these things as much as you want to for the long-term good of the business. But it's hard to see that, and hard to see like, the long-term benefit of the business when you're just kind of starting.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's probably one thing that does pop to my head is the grit. Something like this, I heard it off of an Andy Frisella podcast. It was actually his brother Sal said it. And, it's something about baking a cake. You can't skip any ingredients. And if you do, the cake's going to turn out like shit or not like it should. Mm-hmm. You can't speed up the process. You can't cook it hotter and faster.
Yeah.
The process is the process.
You got to let the cake bake, and you put in all the ingredients that's needed, and, let it bake. It takes time. But anyways, I'd say I'd definitely agree with you on that. There's not, like, thinking about that, nothing else really pops to my head. I've gotten numbed to everything else that, like, I really don't think about much else. That shit that might have used to affect me.
Yeah.
I think also focusing on one thing lately that I've been trying to do better at is focusing on the customers we do have, and not focusing on as much as like, all right, how are we going to get new customers? It's no, how am I supporting 110% the people I already have, because they're the ones that already invested, trust in me, support me, and, figuring out ways to get back to them.
Another thing I
more.
thought about too that kind of ties in a little bit with that is, what was the exact wording of the question? What's the hardest part? The hardest part too is like, and I'm sure you feel this way when like pricing your pre-workout, is like, you can't assume that other people or other customers see the value or understand the value. Like, you kind of like make the assumption, well, I have this great gym, or I have this great product or service. Everyone else kind of should be able to see what I offer and how great it is. And you really have to kind of like, there's a lot more work that goes into kind of like value proposition and like showing people why your product or service is better, or why it's unique, or why it's different, like standing out in some kind of way. Because you or your mom might tell you that your business is the most creative and it's great and everyone's going to support you. But unless you can express that to the consumer, you're just going to be stuck in the mud.
Yes.
So it's tough in that way, trying to break that away.
I overlook that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like you're around the product all the time. We're around All or Nothing all the time. So we're like, GYMFLO is great, like, for X, Y, and Z reasons. But, like, the average person is like, oh, I take, C4.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, I think some very small way that we've tried to improve on things like that is like the recent update of the label, breaking down ingredients and why they're in there, or at least what they do, shit like that.
I'm going to ask one more, and then I want you all to grab some questions. I feel like I'm just acting like I'm the...
Mine aren't like bangers, so take your time.
Yeah. I thought this was a pretty interesting one, too, because I feel like there's so many trainers around RVA. What are your thoughts on degrees versus experience when it comes to personal training?
Worthless.
Yeah, I would agree.
100. And if you'd asked me, like, my first year in training, oh, yeah, you need it. Or trying to actually probably my first 6 months. And then after I started meeting clients and stuff like that, not one has ever asked me, hey, who are you certified by? What did you go to school for it?
Yeah.
Never.
No, I would say
if you just claim yourself as a trainer, people are gonna, and they, you got to be able to show what you're talking about. But as long as you claim and you believe in yourself, and care, you'll do fine. Fuck that, man.
Yeah, I just think the degrees and certification, and sometimes I'll see someone who already has NASM or something like that, and then they're getting another specialty thing, and I'm like, I mean, it's cool if you're actually interested in getting that thing, but if you're just adding some more letters to your name on your Instagram bio, it doesn't really mean anything. And I think, I've one time I was at VCU and we were interviewing this one girl that had her bachelor's in exercise science, so she was a month from graduating, and we were having her take us through some exercises, and she had zero idea how to actually teach us or whoever was acting as the client, how to get in proper deadlift form. And when we said, well, what happens if, this happens? What's a regression or progression? No idea. Just no practical knowledge. Just everything is by the book sometimes. And I just think practical knowledge and experience is way more valuable when it comes to personal training and mostly anything. To kind of even feed off the last question with business, one tough thing is there's no playbook. There's no, there's an MBA business degree, but it's for entrepreneurship, it's kind of just a free for all. There's no rule book or way that, you follow these steps and your business will be successful, there's some principles, but
yeah, what are your thoughts?
I feel in two ways about that, both in agreement with y'all, but I feel kind of like what you're saying, Brock. When I was at VCU, especially for exercise science, and I kind of feel like this in general, but that might be a different topic. But a lot of times it's I wouldn't want to learn. Well, I enjoy learning from my professors, but I wouldn't want my professor to be my trainer or other things like that. Or the other people in my class, it's there were maybe one or two that I feel all right, we're on the same playing field. But the rest, it's I can't imagine being a new client and then just getting stuck with this person who just decided to pick this degree and now thinks that they're this all-knowing person because they have this kind of degree or title. And in the same vein, I feel at gyms and stuff, there might be people who have the same certification or better than me or other things like that. And it's I see the way they train themselves and the way they train their clients, and there's definitely that doesn't mean as much as you think it means, sort of thing. Yes. I always think it's nice to go with someone who you feel is very experienced, but I think that that's something that you can feel from somebody rather than just reading a title or something like that too. And the other thing I would say, though, in that regard, though, I almost wish there was more of a separation of a title of not just personal trainer, basically, because it does frustrate me sometimes, to have your picture on the wall with everybody else, and it's this person got a cheap,
I'm with stupid.
Yeah, well, this person got a cheap weekend certification, and then you might have a little bit more advanced or degree or other things like that, but y'all both have the same title, same pay, same place that you work at too. So I wouldn't say as much as you need education to separate yourself, sort of thing, but I would just say your presence, your attitude, your experience, and kind of your ability to communicate and demonstrate and kind of prove, this is why we're doing this or other things like that. Or like you said, Brock, progressions or regressions, I think is very important and should kind of separate you from the rest of the crowd more so than just a BS or like a NASM or this or that should be too.
I mean, it's insulting how many times, when I was a personal trainer, that I'd have other trainers ask me like minutes before their client session, "Oh, what's a good back exercise or this or that?" And they're just scrambling to put together stuff.
Though.
Well,
it's more so just for variety.
Yeah, but some trainers, it's like they're just. It's like it's not even like that they're unprepared, which sometimes it is. It's more like you don't have the experience or understanding enough of exercise and like training alone to put together like a workout for your client. And then also, when I worked there, let's say it was like 12 trainers, I think. Only like 3, including myself, actually worked out at least like 3 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
some of the other trainers smoked.
Yeah, like how bad is that a lot of these personal trainers, I mean, you don't have to be like elite, but I just feel like in personal training and a lot of professions too, there's not enough people that lead by example. There's a lot of like Instagram trainers and a lot of people that like, work out, but they're not really like training, and they're not really, I mean, they talk about what someone should do or how you should diet, and they don't even diet themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I would say too, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but sometimes I think that the imagery in a lot of the corporate gyms is kind of like cheesy to me, where people carry around the clipboard and like, everything is just so like you're at a doctor's office. You take your weight every single time. You carry around your clipboard. Yeah, it's just, there's, I don't know. For me, I keep a general like understanding of people's strength level, or like, try to keep track if we were working towards strength of what we did last time. But, you're not going to just have linear progression every time. And I feel like, too, it would be kind of pointless to have people, oh, last week we did 70s for this or something like that. That, they didn't eat consistently through the week. They didn't sleep consistently. Like, I kind of like to just do a lot of things off of RPE or, having a general idea of what people work through, but kind of just taking that weight or the intensity kind of by the day, basically, rather than just, oh, clipboard says this, we're going to do this again, sort of thing. I don't know if y'all feel that way, too.
Yeah, 100%. I will say the last place I worked at, you were considered a personal trainer, but corporate sent down scripted workouts for you to give out. They did not want you.
I've seen that too.
They did not want you training anybody outside of their scripted workouts, and it was for everybody. It didn't matter if you were brand new or if you were 80, 20, 12, broken in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it's bad.
Messed up knees.
It was like
that.
Or
squat.
And that's how I ended up leaving.
When I interviewed with them, when they moved in, I was like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with this. And especially if it's all in group, like, there are some people, like I said, like 80, some people young, some people with injuries. And I don't like, that's a big thing that I'm passionate about, is making routines, making programs. And the guy was basically like, if you do a better job than our corporate person, then put in your application for that instead. And it's just like, all right, fuck you.
Pretty much, dude. It was one of those deals. So, are you done with your questions?
I'm done with my. The other ones.
That's it.
Oh. No, there were other ones, but I don't think they were that great.
What do you got, Griffin? I'd like to hear yours first. I only got 2. Well, I only got 1 technically.
I'll go through some of the quicker ones first. Let's see.
Nothing like hearing Nickelback in the background at the gym.
Yeah.
Okay. Can read minds versus can see the future. Who wins in a chess match between the two?
Oh, fuck.
I feel like the read minds. Because regardless of whether or not you can see the future, I can read your mind.
Yeah.
So even if you can see the future and know that I'm going to predict something, then I'll be able to read your mind.
Then it would be a stalemate. Like both would, but then because his mind would see the future of that dude's play.
God damn.
Everybody just sits there.
Yeah. I don't think anything would ever get done.
That is a good point.
That's a tough
Case
one.
closed.
Yeah.
Godzilla versus King Kong. Who wins?
No, I ain't answering that shit. I feel like that's the dumbest movie. They keep making like these Godzilla or King Kong movies. Like, it's not cool anymore. No one really thought it was cool to begin with.
Okay, here's a little bit one that I feel like we might have some interesting conversation from. Creepy men at the gym. Now, as a creepy man who happens to reside at the gym, I would say there's a difference between, a casual, appreciative glance through the mirror. That's not creepy. Versus an actual stare or an approach is more so creepy, I would say.
Yeah, there's definitely a line between the two.
Because an old flame used to say that at Laburnum, this guy would come up to her and be like, I can't focus on my workout because of all that ass in my view. And I feel like how do you even respond to that?
Damn, I got more for you.
Damn, son.
And there was this one guy at the
all that
Fan Golds that
ass.
used to ask to train with me, and he would just be a complete creep of trying to just lift up my sleeve. Oh, you need to train me in a tank top and shorter shorts, and asking me oh, what's your shoe size? Do you shave your body? And every time he would finish his set, he'd wipe his shirt off or face off with his shirt and wink at me and stuff like that, ask me to train him off site. And I made the mistake when I first met him of giving him my phone number to schedule our session. And then it's oh, come meet at the Jefferson for drinks and this and that. So I talked to the manager because
pants not required.
He would just be in the gym when I was in there and brush up, or when I'm training somebody, just make these weird comments. And the manager was we're in the business of selling memberships, not canceling
customer's
them.
always right.
So, yeah.
You take care of that customer.
Yeah.
After a while, I
You
just
work
had to,
that thing.
put my foot down. But it's hard because I feel as an employee, I can't, I beat him up or, cuss at him or other things like that. I kind of just have to, be a professional. So I don't know with some of those people, what the right approach is sometimes. But what do y'all think?
It kind of goes with, the question of, should you or can you hit on girls at the gym? And I think in most cases it's no. I think only instance it's really cool is if you can approach someone and be friends and be friendly and this and that. But if your goal is just to come up and hit them with a one-liner all that ass, I don't think
you
it's
went
gonna
for
work
the Hail
out
Mary
well.
right there. Dude.
Yeah.
What do I got to lose?
It wasn't even close.
What do I got to lose?
Yeah, the one hitter quitter.
The mirror will still always be there to watch.
But yeah, I think there's just a difference between a glance or two, and actually interrupting the person's workout or making them feel overly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But there is a thing though, and we briefly talked about it earlier, is everyone should be comfortable wearing what they want to at the gym, but just know that what you wear might instigate more looks than others. And that's just the fact of the matter.
It is.
So,
if I was to wear booty shorts, people are going to probably stare at me.
Yeah,
being
or
a man.
or how many times, even on a male thing, how many times we see the dude roll in full leggings and tights, no shorts over it. And you're oh,
it's
fuck.
too early for this.
Yeah. So, and obviously same goes for girls. If your booty cheeks are hanging out.
If you got the navigations on.
Yeah, if you got the navigations on, people are going to.
It's over.
Jake's trademarked butthole crinkle.
Oh.
Saying you see that butthole crinkle, it's a little too
all
much.
the way up.
Yeah.
So there's a way of going about it, and who am I? But
just another old creep.
Yeah. Getting up
let me
there.
talk to y'all about the way.
Yeah, he hasn't reached the point of being the naked guy in the locker room yet.
It's going to be the
there.
naked guy in this room.
Yeah,
I'll just open the door.
blow dryer.
Sorry, I didn't think anybody was out there.
Just standing
Close
there.
the door. But so, if for some reason, it's pretty common sense, you'd think, but if you wanted to talk to somebody and get to know them, or you're damn, they're attractive, man or woman, you would start off by just saying, hey, and just casual conversation, not going straight in for the dive. That's any smart or normal person would do that. I don't even know where I could go with that. It's just be
Dating
normal.
advice at the gym.
Be normal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, keep it cool,
No,
guys.
the trick is with that, you don't say anything. You don't acknowledge them. And then you go immediately after and follow their Instagram.
And like their past 5 posts. in a row.
I will
Bum,
say,
bum, bum.
I feel like the most successful strategy for for people at the gym is, don't acknowledge it. Act like you don't even notice them. maybe see if you can get a few glances, and then Instagram later. Then
Yeah.
they're like, they check out
And then
your
the
page.
ice is
If they
broken.
follow back, then you're like, all right, you got a foot in the door. And then from there, you can kind of introduce yourself. Be like, oh, like, I think we follow each other on Instagram, you know?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, yeah. And then, then you're talking.
Yeah.
Next thing
you know, you got 3 kids, you know?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
The rejection of not getting the follow back.
Yeah, then like, okay, give it a week or 2.
Yeah,
I got more work to do.
Move on. Yeah. Yeah.
That is kind of soul crushing, though, I will say. And then it's the dejected. All right, unfollow.
Yeah.
It's over. It was never
Yeah.
gonna work out.
Yeah. I you know what? It was I didn't even want it
Yeah,
anyway.
you're not even that hot.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Those leggings are just deceiving.
Let's see. Would you say that intrinsic or extrinsic motivation gets you further in the fitness industry, and why?
So this is kind of like, I think a better question was like what we were talking about earlier, because I was listening to an Andy Priscilla podcast, and he was talking a lot with this Elite CrossFit Games, Tia Claire Toomey, and she was talking a lot about how they basically have a lot of like negative motivation that feeds them into just hard work and success and things like that. And they were basically talking about how, like, a lot of culture and people nowadays, and we've talked about it on the podcast even, of like how a lot of people believe like you should be kind of super positive about, motivation. You should want to win for Jesus Christ. Intrinsic. Isn't that the word?
Intrinsic.
Close.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Anyway,
Time
you
to
should
get the AED.
Yeah. Point is, I'm gonna spit out this idea. Basically, you should the idea in like common culture is you should do it for you or happy type of reasons and factors and things like that, like your family or because you want success and this and that. But a lot of where I feel like I drive my motivation, what they were talking about in the podcast, is just wanting to prove doubters or people that talk shit wrong and just wanting to kind of just shove it back at them with success. And just like work harder so you can just kind of just stomp that into them. So
Yeah.
and I feel like that's what drives me a lot, way more than positive motivation and someone saying like good job or can't wait to see you crush that goal is like someone talking shit, because I can't just wait to accomplish that and just shove it right back at them.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all, kind of side note, but did y'all ever get the game ball when y'all played baseball?
Twice or so, 3 times.
If everybody gets the game ball, then it's not that special. But if you did something to really excel and you get that, like you almost want to put it in a case or something on the shelf. So I feel like it's almost like a hybrid of you need that extrinsic motivation of the trophy, the show coming up, like other things like that to keep yourself having that hard date. But for the long term and for the actual action, you need to have the intrinsic motivation of kind of thinking of yourself as a champion, having those champion habits or other things like that is really going to take you to that finish line, basically.
I think it starts inside and definitely kind of guides you to the outside factors a lot more.
Like if you're motivated by like a product launch, you need to make sure all your ducks are in a row and like you've got good work ethic or like the design is good, the like promo is good or other things like that like all comes before that big sort of payoff or other things like that too. But I feel like in the context of the fitness industry or something like that, you might have, although that is interesting, would you consider, like, let's say your goal is to run a marathon. Is that an intrinsic goal though? Like, because that's not really like an actual tangible thing.
It is for me because I was talking to Maddie about it yesterday. I told her, and I'll put it out there in the ether, is I was telling her, don't be surprised if one day I tell you I want to do a 100-mile race, because for me, like the marathon signifies or feels more for me. It feels this kind of like void or like wanting to kind of like push through like suffering, and in a way it kind of satisfies me more mentally. It's more of like a mental goal than it is like a physical for me, because the thing about running is I feel like it's like a pure kind of will thing where I need a condition in my cardiovascular system and body to run X amount of distance, but a lot of what gets me there is just pure mental will, because, you know, if I'm as mentally strong as I can, I can't necessarily pull more weight. Like, you know, I might be more locked in for a set or something like that. But at least with running, I feel like I really can break it down to simply one foot in front of the other. And even if I'm just like shuffling my feet at some point due to pure fatigue, at least I can just mentally just will myself to just keep going forward. Because I feel like, you know, humans, you don't really ever push yourself really to, like, you know, run to death like a dog or some type of animal, like, can get to that point where they'll run to death. So, you know, you can trust that your body will shut down before, you know, you'll actually push to that point. But to wrap up that, like, you know, question, yeah, I feel like for me, the marathon is like a physical goal, but what it means and what it signifies to me is more of like a mental and I'm going to fuck up the word, intrinsic goal. Yeah.
First time.
Boom.
Yeah. It is interesting in that regard, because I feel like it's kind of cool, especially in today's day and age, to have something that you want to, like, suffer through, to see that as an accomplishment of, like, coming out the other end. Because I feel like, especially in, you know, modern culture, it's just, you know, treat the symptom. If you have some sort of dissatisfaction or something like that, you go to therapy or you take medication or something like that. And I think it's really cool to have, you know, if you have some sort of demon or dissatisfaction or something like that, to really find something that you can be that passionate about, to want to, you know, go through something that tests you, that makes you suffer, that, you know, if you come out the other end, what a great and emotional feeling that would be to accomplish. But then have, you know, something else to then set in the horizon again too. It's almost like that one guy you recommended I listened to on the Rob Bailey podcast like a year ago.
The photographer?
Yeah. He says that he likes to just do these kind of crazy things that he doesn't know what's going to happen, basically, of, you know, we're going to cross country ski up to this fire lookout and, like, spend the night and then do, like, downhill, you know, skis or something like that, to where they don't know what the conditions are like. They don't really know, like, do we have enough supplies? Because they'll usually take what they have on their back, or, like, just some different things, like, you know, we're going to just buy this Craigslist van and take it this place. And he says that he loves to be a group leader of these kind of expeditions or other things like that, because it's very, like, high paced or very stressful while they're going on the trip or whatever. You don't know what the outcome's going to be like. You don't know necessarily if you're going to make it back or not. Like, you know, there's always the satellite phone or the guarantee of that, but, you know, you might have to pull out, and nobody wants to do that. But he's like, you know, I get such a high once we finish.
Yeah.
You know,
nobody wants to do that.
Amen. But he's like, I get such a high when we finish and, like, pull it off. And then every time I think back to those trips, like, it's such a great memory that it was, like, stressful or, you know, uncertain, but it worked out, sort of thing. And so he's always like, I like to plan the next thing. But I think it's pretty interesting to have something that you're so passionate about that, like, that's like a pleasure, an obstacle, like a challenge, all rolled into one, that, you know, it's rare to find people or activities that you can really, like, be that invested in, or that, you know, that passionate about, that you want to go through that. I wish that more people had that kind of spirit. Yeah.
I think you just need something to, like, test yourself. And it's not like you need something every day or every week or something. I mean, it can be like, you know, a hard leg day. It can be like a hard set. Or it can be, bed. You know, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be even fitness related. But I feel like, yeah, you need something that just makes you just suffer. Because it's almost like, you know, how you can't have good without there being bad in the world, because otherwise, like, you wouldn't, you know, decipher the difference. You know, you wouldn't appreciate the good without bad things happening, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I would say, is, like, you almost need this kind of sense of, like, suffering and hard work, you know, to actually appreciate and have that, like, that satisfaction when you're done with it, that, hey, I accomplished this. You know, not everything can be enjoyable. You
and
can't just be.
Life would be dull as fuck if you aren't, like, testing.
Yeah.
And like you said, it doesn't have to be a 100-mile run or even a marathon. Yeah. It could be just like a hard leg day, or just making it through the day, eating the meals that you're supposed to eat.
Yeah.
Or whatever
that could
the
be
fuck
it.
you got to do.
Exactly.
Just, like, making sure you're trying to one up the day before.
You know what I was thinking about? I don't know if it was this morning, but when you were talking, it made me think of it. And it might be like an unpopular opinion or thought, but I was just, brainstorming and just, open dialogue thought. But I was thinking about how, like, I'm a big believer that everyone kind of, it's okay if you like start with a personal trainer and such, but I think most people should learn how to basically be their own trainer, because I think the long, longevity of exercise should be part of your life, for forever. And then so you should really just spend the time to, you don't have to be an expert, but know how to structure a program for yourself and, understand your body. And I think it'll just benefit everyone to just spend the time to, to learn and invest in that. And then I was thinking about it, I feel like the same goes for, your mental health, right? And so I was like, therapists have their place, but I feel like everyone should take the time to get to know themselves, to be alone, to understand, like, why do I act this way? What from my childhood or my past has guided me to act this way or think this way or have these tendencies, and address that and understand yourself better. And I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to really to push through uncomfortable ideas or feelings. And so it's kind of like, instead of me learning how to work out, I'm just going to put it on a trainer, give half-ass effort, and then, either ignore the diet or things like that. I'm sure there's an analogy to the mental health the same way, that it's like you never take the time to really understand why you're depressed or what factors in your life might have led to you, to where you are now. Just an open kind of thought I was thinking about the other day. I feel like, the same way I feel like you should invest time into understanding your body and health, you should probably, invest time in understanding your mind, your actions, your behaviors, all of that.
At the end of the day, like, nobody's going to have your best interests at heart except for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of these processes or journeys are very personal. And it's one of those things that I think that, I'm not saying that it's like a quick fix or something like that, going to, seek help or other things like that from somebody. But I do think that if you're in a rut, if you're, feeling like things aren't going well, or that you're going on a downward spiral, that is an important kind of component of life to figure out how to shift gears. And so I think you kind of have to, like, sit in that suffering a little bit and let that kind of kickstart you into making the choices that need to change to be able to make your life better. And I don't think that, well, I don't want to, like, generalize per se, but like getting a prescription or like other things like that to be able to get out of bed in the morning, in my opinion, I feel like that should just be a sign that your body is telling you that, like, something needs to change.
Well, it's like you said, you're like
treating the symptom rather than the source.
Exactly. I was just about to say, like, you're just covering up the symptoms with pills or this or that without actually addressing, like, the issue at hand.
Yeah. And it takes a while to figure out get to the heart of that too. And so sometimes it starts with a behavior change, or like, change of scenery, or maybe you need to, like, cut out a lot of things in life and kind of get to the core of the problem. But I think that eventually, like, if you kind of keep it in your mind
and work through it,
then
you'll be better because of it.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's going to sort itself out, because it does take a lot of work and time and other things like that.
You might need help.
At least just turning that stone over, you might be surprised in a year from now and a couple years from now how, without realizing it, you've made all these little tiny changes that have really changed you as a person. Whereas, if you just kind of put a Band-Aid on it and keep everything else the same, then you're not real. It's kind of hollow. You're not really fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
one thing, it's kind of crazy if you think about it. With everything in the world, the only thing that you truly can control is your body.
Yeah.
And what you do, your decisions, your actions, whatever.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
I mean, there's a lot of shit coming in. Obviously, all of our lives are busy. Everybody's not just us three, but everybody's lives, I'm sure, are busy in different ways. But at the end of the day, just taking a deep breath and just being like, all right, I can control what I am going to do today, whether it's take that initial step to get moving in the right direction, eating right, moving my body, learning something new, or you can just let the day, kick you in the dick, and you just curl up into a ball. And
a lot of things I feel like that clamor for your attention, whether it be, a headline or something somebody said or did on
and that's
social
shit
media.
You can't control.
Yeah, and it's like, one thing that helps me a lot is realizing that not everything that's a stimulus needs a response. Like, not everything needs a reaction from you. Like, you might see something and observe something, and you don't even need to necessarily like have a positive or negative thought associated with that. You can just let it roll, basically.
Especially
somebody
when it
cuts
has
you off.
Nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can get caught up in headlines and news. And, at the end of the day, there's nothing
kills
you can
me
change about it.
It's like the people that give a fuck about these celebrities and their relationships.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
oh my God,
That's
I
a
don't
whole
care
box of shit.
who the Kim Kardashians dating or
Yeah.
their breakup. It's like, it doesn't affect me in the slightest.
That
And
is
yet
a
people
very
And what are they
weird
doing for me?
mentality, too.
What are
know.
they doing for
And it's
me?
crazy because, we can talk. It's not like an unpopular opinion. People say this shit. But it just really blows my mind, though. Like, how many... it's millions of people that, okay, you want to watch the show, okay, but like, are truly invested. And like, can you believe that this happened? They'll talk about it on the radio and this and that. Like, I don't give a fuck.
What about
Yeah.
your
I
life?
don't care about
Yeah.
the royal family or what they're doing
Yeah.
or their opinions on X, Y, or Z.
How's your life going? That's the
Yeah.
question you should ask back.
Yeah.
Oh, what are your stats like? What is your life looking like?
Yeah.
That's true.
Focus on you.
Ain't a whole lot going on.
It's I don't know. It's weird to think about. Just even the fact of like those magazines that you see in the checkout aisle
That's
at
what
a
I mean.
grocery
Yeah.
store. Like,
Those are bad.
the fact that somebody gets
Old
a
biddies just
subscription
get
to
caught
that.
up in that
Stars,
shit.
they're just like us. They go grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
They babysit or other things like that.
She
and
slept
it's like,
with her or the nanny,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
he slept with
Arnold.
the nanny.
can you believe? Yeah.
I did. I
Damn
might have looked into that
Yeah.
one, but
Can you believe that this person I've never met said this to this
Yeah.
person I've never met?
Yeah.
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got, Griff Dog?
Let's see.
I need to wake up. This drink sucks, by the way.
Yeah.
As I finished it,
Fuck Mountain Dew.
fuck Mountain Dew. It's kind of fucked up.
This will be
Wasting
the
my
last one that we'll do.
I don't feel good. My gut feels a little weird.
Dang.
Yeah.
This one's kind of
Immune
more of
support.
a workout one. Tips for better squat form. So two things I would
I
say.
had someone ask about bench press, but go on.
This is something I learned from Chris Duffin when he did the seminar at the Nut Bash. One thing is he would put playing cards under somebody's foot, and then as they're squatting, try to pull out the playing cards, and he would put it under the big toe, the side of the foot, and then the heel. And so the biggest thing is to kind of keep equal pressure through the foot, because that's your anchor into the ground. So trying to make sure that you kind of think of it like a tripod the whole time through. It kind of helps to, you always think about weight over your heel, but really kind of grounding that foot into the floor helps to kind of connect everything else. And the other thing I would say is think of from your hip to your shoulder as like a solid block almost. So like really kind of bracing everything, locking the lats in, tightening the glutes, tightening the core. But then also what helps me is to drive the hip back before you bend the knee too. So kind of keeping that, because to keep the straight bar path, you want to make sure that you're not kind of bending the knee, starting to go slightly forward, and then coming back from there too. So I would say also maybe play around with high bar versus low bar and see what works better for you, because low bar really helped to make me feel like I was getting more grounded and like actually moving well into that hole basically. But then I can kind of use that going back into high bar to make that more efficient too. So.
Only thing I'd say for squats is, tripod foot's a big cue I use for myself and my clients. And just keeping tension across your whole body. I think one thing that I overlook sometimes a lot of people have is like back tightness. So like really squeezing those kind of like, elbows to your side and keeping that back tight. Will not only keep the bar more stable, but just more tension in your body, you'll be able to produce more force.
I would also say too, neutral spine is not the same as like overly arched, overly tightened spine. It takes a couple tries, I feel like, to understand that like overcorrecting and really like driving it back is going to be a detriment rather than just staying neutral but keeping it braced at the same time too.
I don't really have any good advice. I'm not the best at squatting lately, but for somebody starting off, the only way to get a better squat is by squatting more.
Yeah, keep those hips loose.
Different types of squats. You can throw in goblets, front squats,
doing leg press,
Bulgarian
leg
split
press.
Any
squats.
tips you got for bench press? Because someone said they were struggling with their bench press. I didn't really have anything that came to mind.
I don't bench
Forearm.
really either. Actually, I don't even lift.
Forearm perpendicular to the floor.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I feel like people grab thumb right on the rough, basically, and tuck
yeah.
under, and that's just a little too narrow, depending on your body. The other thing I would say is like tucking the shoulder back. This helped me when I first started, and I still think of it like every single time. But retracting your scapula by pulling your shoulders up towards the ceiling, back towards the back wall, and then back down towards the floor. So kind of visualize that motion when you're on the bench, and you'll kind of be much more anchored in. So
Yeah, besides technique, one thing that's helped me a lot is incorporating more pressing movements that are kind of assisting the lift. So throwing in a close grip bench throughout your week, training the triceps, and also like an overhead press or a shoulder press, training that relatively heavy, especially like a barbell overhead press. I feel like has transferred over pretty well to my barbell bench press. And yeah, finding the right grip for you, whether you're stronger through the chest, stronger through the triceps, finding that right kind of elbow path and angle is big.
You know what? I was thinking about it. One thing that, or a couple things that I have thought about over the past maybe year with my bench, even though I don't bench often, at least flat bench, starting from the feet. Because for forever, I would, my first few years in lifting and especially benching, I would never really use my feet or utilize them like I should have. And they'd just be loose and just wherever the fuck they'd land. And then my hips, I'd be wiggly or on the bench, not really starting at my feet, locking in, pushing through my glutes, hamstrings tight, nice and contracted, and then going from there, from glutes to my upper back, having my scapula retracted
Yeah, it should feel
back.
like a full body movement.
Yeah. And it wasn't until like I really started like to visualize me starting from the ground at my feet all the way up to the back of my shoulders to where my bench really has gotten stronger, or at least felt more strong, So one thing to look into is make sure you're utilizing everything you got with the bench, not just your arms and chest.
Yeah. Or hit the ammonia.
Yeah. And maybe a couple punches to the
Get
face.
wired. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Did you get any questions?
Yeah, I did. I just got one.
That'd
So
be a good one.
this one, which by the way, I got two things dropped in my questions box, but I'll read off one of them. So here's the question. What's your go-to karaoke song? So, me. I don't really do karaoke often, or if I do it, it's usually a song that I can play on guitar while I sing. So I feel like I only have two that I'm like better at playing than the rest of my songs that I know. And one off the top of my head is Zach Brown Band, Colder Weather. And then the second song would be, depends on how the crowd's feeling, whether I start off with one or the other.
Tough crowd tonight.
So then I'll drop the second heater, which is Ryan Adams' English Girls.
I haven't heard it before, I don't think. Not I'll Be.
No.
It's a little hard to play.
But, you know what? On this topic real quick, I heard a song the other day when I was Uber Eats.
Uber 8.
Uber 8. Anyways, and it was on the radio in the background, and I just heard the bump, and I was like, oh, let me turn that up. And damn, I will be the first to tell you I do not like Phil Collins.
Phil Collins fucks.
What? Come on.
Phil Collins
And
fucks.
maybe it's because
Tarzan's
What song was it?
Studio.
well, it's maybe
the Air
because
Tonight.
every time I think of Phil Collins, I think of I can be
Yeah, it takes
and
a
that
little
song's
while to
horrible.
lead up.
Like even
it's
when it
not
leads up,
horrible.
like
It's not horrible.
it's not. It doesn't
You're
get me
wrong
fired
for
up.
that.
It's
Yeah.
slow. It's overplayed. Anyways,
It's overplayed.
this song is called "Easy Lover."
Mm.
Banger, like
that-
straight fire.
You Can't Hurry Love.
No.
Oh, you just have to.
Oh no,
wait.
this
that's a
thing
totally different
this
band,
thing
yeah.
fucking
It is.
drops, and it's
Yeah,
got
that's-
it's got a feature on with some other guy in it. Sounds like Michael
that's,
Jackson esque, but this thing like there's so much emotion and just rawness to it. I feel like when I listen to it, I listened to
it's
it
by the
all last
Supremes.
night, and like there's something about the drums in it and everything. I can feel like the guy
You
playing
know,
the drums.
he's the
like,
drummer.
is he?
Yeah, he's the singer and the
Well,
drummer.
then that's exactly why, because that's where the emotion.
Not
I
all the
feel
time,
like,
I don't think.
Okay,
Maybe.
Well, I don't know, but in
It
that
depends on the
song, fucking play it. Whoever's listening, play it after you listen to this show. Easy Lover, Phil Collins.
His daughter is
Got a
very
feature.
attractive.
Haven't looked at her. We'll check her out after this show.
Yeah.
Everybody else do as well.
Yeah. Go on your phone right now.
But yeah, Easy Lover. Check it out. I don't know why I got
He
into that.
gets down.
I'd probably fuck with that song. I'd give it a run on karaoke, even though I don't think I could hit some of the highs he hits.
I would say beer for my horses.
I was gonna say beer from a horse
And
too. Yeah.
I've done it a few times. Works every time.
Works every time.
Yeah. I'd say at the gym is really the only time I'll crank up some country tunes and be able to like hit every word on the lyrics pretty confidently. Beer from a horse, definitely a big one. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue is always a good go-to. Really anything Toby Keith. Also Travis Tritt, the old Great Day to Be Alive.
Yeah.
Any non-country?
Yeah. Non-country? I mean, any Nickelback song I could probably nail.
For karaoke?
Oh, yeah. Why not?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, there's a lot of songs.
Again.
Yeah.
It's time to fight.
No, I mean,
That's my
first
shit.
of all, I'd probably do How You Remind Me or something like that.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
but
Have y'all ever done any, I know Sticky Rice does, a karaoke night, or, have y'all ever done it anywhere as far as...
One legit karaoke bar, which was down in, Newport News.
Yeah.
Only did one song. It was a country song. Can't tell you what it was, but it was off their little book that they had. And then the other time was at a bar down in North Carolina, and it was a trailer. It was a trailer bar. It was like a single-wide trailer. And the coolest thing about this setup in this bar is that they had each instrument. If you wanted to pick it up off the wall, you could. They had an acoustic, electric guitar, a bass, a fiddle, and all this other types of shit. And they had two
Charlie
mics.
Daniels.
Yeah, so you could go up there, and if you wanted to just sing, you could just sing, or you could play and sing. And I did a few songs there. It was a little lit, so I don't really remember how it went. But the crowd was making some noise, so I'll take it. They might have said,
Were you
shut
at
the fuck
Decadence?
up.
yeah.
No, that was Louisiana.
Starts playing...
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, it was good. What about y'all? Y'all done it?
I've never been to a
I've
bar.
done Mr.
yeah.
Brightside, which...
Mr. Brightside. Were you at Decadence?
Yeah.
No.
It
It gets a little hard. I feel like once you get past the coming out of my cage, and then that's about all I know. And
That's
now
when you
I
just
got you.
chug the beer and get on the stage and let it play.
You kind of hold it out.
Yeah.
All right, I got to go.
Yeah. Thank you, Richmond.
So the other thing that was dropped, I'm not going to say who it is. Maybe it's all fun. It's just having a little funsies.
Yeah.
It says, sing you in your Christmas suit. Now, how about that birthday suit? It's hard eyes.
Well, the one I'm thinking
hard
of,
eyes
I
emoji.
think deleted their
And it was
Instagram.
from my... Well, they dropped it in my questions box, but I did happen to post that Hatfield squat with my shorts up a little bit.
Shit.
I don't know.
Tease.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no answer for this. This is for you. This is all you.
Oh, no,
You.
and thank you though. Thank you for
Damn.
the
Thank
inquiry, but no, because I'll have to show y'all later. No, yeah, we'll let that one slide.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll let that one slide.
All right.
Dang.
Good show.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
know, that was fun.
Bad drink. Good show.
Yeah, right. So we will catch y'all next week. Make sure you follow us all in the description below. If you have any questions, make sure you drop it in our questions box every Sunday that we do on our Instagrams.
And thank you to everyone for sharing the podcast. We got a lot of
Yeah,
feedback. A
for
lot
real.
of people listening. Got an audience now, I feel like.
I feel like podcasts, I don't know how they grow and how they work. I assume they
Word of mouth,
obviously word of
really.
mouth,
Yeah.
but reviews. I don't know if you can
Business
drop
cards.
reviews on like
You
iTunes
can,
and stuff like
yeah,
that. If that might help
can.
bump it up.
Yeah.
We're trying to climb that thing. You know
Coming
what I'm
for you,
saying?
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, watch out. Anyways, let us know what you think about the show in the comments below. Tag us. We'll see y'all next week. We're out.